Shabbat Tov Rabotai, Mishnah Yomi is continuing in Shabbat. In the first parak, Mishnah Vav, Beit Shammai Omrim. Beit Shammai teaches, Ein notnin unin shel pishtan l'toch hatoner. You do not place bundles of flax into the oven, and this is talking about before Shabbos, not on Shabbos. That would obviously be a problem. We're talking about before Shabbos. Elakadei sheyachbilu mibad yom. Only if there's enough time for the hevel, for the steam, to come out of the flax while it's still daytime, meaning they've become hot enough, warm enough that they're starting to steam. So then you know they're done. They're bleached. They're good to go. So this again is a continuation of a concept we learned yesterday, that there is a machlokis, Beit Shammai, Beit Hillel. We're going to see about the pasuk in Shemot chapter 23, verse 12, that you and your animals need to rest on Shabbat. And Beit Shammai says this includes your kalim, such as yesterday your vat for dyeing or soaking, and today we're going to see your oven, your traps as well. And Beit Hillel says no, it's dafka your animals, that have tsar balei chaim as a concept, that the Torah commands us to make them rest and not allow them to continue working even by themselves. But your kalim have no concept of tsar balei kalim. There's no such thing. So they would be allowed, if there's no human interference, to keep on going. And the Mishnah here continues, Invav v'lo et etzemer liyura, and do not place wool into the dyeing bowl, ela kadei sheyiklo ha'ayin, meaning unless there's enough time for the dye to soak in the wool. This is why it's called dyed in the wool. It's got to be really in there. Beit Hillel matiri. Now, Beit Hillel allows in both of these cases. Like we said yesterday, they say there's no concept of forcing your kalim to rest, as long as the situation is where they're not going to be interfered with, as the Bartanura here explains. This is when your dyeing vat, your yura, is off the fire, because if it's still on top of the fire, someone might add firewood to warm it up, because the heat helps the wool to absorb the dye. And it's also where it's covered, because if it's not covered, someone might come to stir it. So all of these cases that Beit Hillel allows, it's where there's no human interference with what's going on inside of the kalim. Mishnah Vav continues, Beit Shammai Omrim, Ein porsin mitsudot. We don't spread out traps, chayev ofot, for doggy, whether they're for wild animals or for birds or for fish, unless there's enough time. There's enough animals walking to and fro here. There's enough possibility that they're going to become trapped before Shabbos actually begins. Beit Hillel matirin. Beit Hillel would allow the trapper to set out the traps before Shabbos. Again, none of these things are happening on Shabbos itself. He's setting it up before Shabbos, even though Lamaisa, the fish, might get caught on Shabbos itself. Mishnah Zayin, Beit Shammai Omrim. Beit Shammai holds, Ein mochrin l'ovid kochavim. We do not sell to an idolater, to a non-Jew. Ein to'onin imo, and we don't load up with him. Just to put your merchandise in his car or on his donkey or his camel. Ein magbihin olov, or you don't lift it up onto him as if he's carrying the merchandise on his back. You just sold him a big carpet, and now he's going to load the carpet on his shoulder to take it home. So you don't do this only if he can get to a close place, like his place is down the block or his town is a little bit close. We're talking about get there before Shabbos, because obviously the Jew is not selling him things on Shabbos. You're selling him on Friday afternoon. So if he can get home or get to the next town over before Shabbos, Beit Shammai would allow it, because it doesn't look like you're arranging for him to do business with you on Shabbos. Beit Hillel matirin. Beit Hillel allows it. Now, the Bartanura says he allows it as long as he's out of the shop or out of your house, out of your property, while it's still daytime before Shabbos comes. Obviously, if you sold him a big rug and then they're schmoozing until it's after Shkia already, and now he's leaving the store, leaving your house with the big rug that he just bought, even though he bought it before Shabbos, that would look very problematic, and even Beit Hillel would not allow it. Yashar koach, Rabotai, sei gesund.